Coming up, I'm going to be talking about the release dates of multiple Disney Plus series from Marvel. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's on Disney Plus, and we've got a number of updates that have come through from the US Copyright Office. So there's been a whole host of listings that have been put up there for copyright reasons, and therefore kind of gives some details on like some descriptions of many of the upcoming Disney Plus shows, some of the casts that are in there, plus what's more important, potential release dates. Now, I'm going to be very honest with this. This can change. Just because it's written on here doesn't mean that this is what it's going to be. Things can change when things get a little bit closer. Obviously, when this originally got put in, they would have had to put in a release date. They've obviously had to do some updates, obviously depending on copyright things, because that's kind of how these rules kind of thing. So definitely take it more as a suggestion, but it gives us a very kind of an outline of Disney's plans. Now, as we all know, back at the San Diego Comic-Con last year, Disney revealed its big plans for the upcoming phases. And well, 2023 was going to be a packed year because we were going to be getting 5 live action series, which included Secret Invasion, Loki, which obviously those two we have got. We were going to get Echo, which has now been pushed back to January. The Agatha Coven of Chaos series, which is now Agatha Darkhold Diaries. And we were also going to get Ironheart. Also, we were going to be getting some animated series like Spider-Man freshman year. That was going to come out next year. You also had X-Men and What If. So it's going to be a packed year. We're also going to get 4 movies. We ended up, we only got 3. But with the actors' strike coming on and the writers' strike, that's caused some delays. But also, just in general, Disney realized they were just pumping out way too much Marvel stuff. Fans were getting disheartened because they just were making way too much. They were just churning out too much to the point where fans were just starting to zone out. We're seeing it actually with Loki now. The excitement for the second season is nowhere near what it was for the first one because people have been burned. They've sat through Secret Invasion and She-Hulk and things like that and just been like, I didn't enjoy it, so therefore they have just kind of started drifting off. There's been too much stuff. There's been too much superhero content. I would say that's not just from Marvel. We've seen it. DC has drastically had major problems with then kind of rebooting everything, which has caused some other issues. Then you've got things like The Boys and Umbrella Academy coming from Netflix. There's just been so much, and it's kind of reached a point where people are going, I've had enough, and I've got a little bit bored of this, and Marvel is struggling from that. We've also seen that the quality has been diluted by Disney trying to put out too much stuff. And this kind of all came from the era of trying to force as much Disney Plus content available. And the quality's just suffered. And so people started tuning out. So therefore, Disney has decided to hit the brakes, kind of stretch out what they've already filmed. Now, there were some advantages for that for them because that essentially means now that they can save some money because they're not having to make as many shows and stuff, but also the stuff that they have got in the can, they can kind of spread it out and cover a few years, and that's what we're really seeing from this. So as of right now, we know that we're getting Loki new episodes every week right now, and then we're going to be getting What If later this year. But heading into 2024, we're going to be getting, in early January, we're going to be getting Echo. We're going to be getting the entire series of that. That got a little bit of a pushback from November. Then in early 2024, we're going to be getting the new X-Men 97 animated series. But then way back into September, October of next year, we're then going to be getting the new Agatha Darkhold Diaries series. So we've got a little bit of a wait between shows. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Just 2 shows a year is probably the right method for me. Also in November 2024, we're supposed to be getting the new animated series Spider-Man freshman year. So this one is again a new animated series with Spider-Man at school, and it's going to feature lots of different characters and stuff. Looks like it might be like a multiverse thing, but yeah, we'll get that's kind of being developed right now. So hopefully this all kind of lines up. And then going into 2025, we're going to be getting Daredevil Born Again. Now, obviously, they have had issues with that series, with them having to shut down for the writer's strike, and then obviously with the actor's strike coming in as well. They've got to restart filming. It's also going to be a much longer series with 18 episodes. So if it does drop in early 2025, that's pretty much a big chunk of the year there. I mean, we're looking at about 4 months worth of new episodes. So I think they're going to go for weekly with this one. I don't think they'll go with the Netflix binge drop for that one. It's just going to cost too much to do that. And then in November 2025, 2025, where we're getting the Ironheart series. Now, obviously, Ironheart was originally introduced in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and this is a major delay if this actually happens to be the case, because it was supposed to be coming out about now in fall of 2023, pushing back to September 2025. That's a 2-year delay. Hopefully that does mean that they can maybe do some reshoots, work on some of the special effects and make it a lot better. That's some advantages to this one. But yeah, that is a big pushback. It might also be, as we know with the Marvel Universe, when one thing gets delayed, sometimes a whole host of other things have to get delayed because they intertwine with other stories, and maybe that's interconnecting. I think that's going to have a big issue with like Armor Wars. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a break between when she kind of got introduced and her next story, but that might not necessarily be a bad thing. But definitely seeing them basically stretch out these shows. Obviously they were filming Wonder Man just before the strikes happened, so maybe that will be coming out, I'm guessing 2025, early 2026 if they get it done. I mean, maybe 2 years is about right for the time for them to film it, and then do all the editing, and then do all the visual effects and all the rest of it. And you know, that's a big part of it all. But yeah, so that definitely gives us a lineup for the next like 2 years. And I think that's actually probably about right. You know, if you've got like 2 live action series and an animated series each year, I think that's probably about right. If you want to sort of undo superhero fatigue, you got to put out less. You can't be putting out 5-6 shows a year and all the films, because you've also going to have the films dropping in with that as well. And obviously as well, we will see with the strike that's going on now, unless that gets resolved pretty soon, that's going to have some more impact on films like Deadpool 3 next year, and the Captain America 4 film, plus you know, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and all these other films. We're probably going to see just stretched out a little bit more, and kind of Disney kind of paying a little bit more attention to these shows and films, which I think is good. I did say right back when I initially saw that presentation slide from San Diego Comic-Con last year, I was like, oh, that is just too much. That is way too much. And yeah, they realized that and kind of changed it. But unfortunately, they'd already filmed a lot of it and got things in place. But yeah, so it does look like we are going to be getting a lot less Marvel over the next few years. What do you think of that lineup? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all that. In our comment of the day, which comes from Broken Bridge, who says, got any ideas of what other Marvel show you would like to see get a second season? Now, for me, you know, when we've been talking about kind of where could we fit one in, you know, now if we're looking at maybe 2026, I mean, that feels a long way away yet. I would love to see some further adventures of Miss Marvel, be it Miss Marvel Season 2, or that's the advantage with Marvel, is they can kind of do a brand new series, give it a brand new name, feature characters, but it's not necessarily a second season. I would love to see some more adventures of Moon Knight, but again, they could do that, and they could bring in other characters like Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing and stuff like that. So I think if I was to pick 2, those would be it, maybe Miss Marvel and Moon Knight. Though you could easily say, you know, let's give us another season of Hawkeye. Let's give us... I know a lot of people didn't like She-Hulk, but I actually thought it actually fitted the TV model the best. Just the special effects are just a little bit messy, but I actually liked that because it felt a little bit more as a TV series, and it kind of fitted the Disney Plus mode. I don't know, like with Vision Quest, that was kind of been put on hold. Whether or not they turn that into a movie, I don't know. But for me, I could easily, if I was just to pick 2, I would probably say Miss Marvel and Moon Knight would be my favourites. But what about you? What would you like to see? And I'm going to throw in a 3rd season of Loki, because we just need more of that before Secret Invasion. But let us know what you think of all this in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Remember to go check us out over at what's on DisneyPlus.com. Like, follow and subscribe, and I shall see you soon. Laters.